Michigan's Attorney General, I think yesterday, filed felony charges against 16 Christian fascists who acted as fake electors for the orange vomit in 2020. The Attorney General is accusing them of submitting false certificates that confirmed they were legitimate electors despite Biden's victory in the state. Huh? Dana Nessel, the Attorney General, announced that all 16 people would face 8 criminal charges, including forgery and conspiracy to commit election forgery. The top charge in that list of charges against him carries a maximum penalty of 14 years in prison. Why bother with a goddamn trial? Oh, I know, that's crazy. That's my emotional response. Why not just lock the son of a bitches up? The group indicted, the group against whom charges have been filed includes the head of the Republican National Committee's chapter in Michigan, Kathy Burden, as well as the former co-chair of the Michigan Republican Party, Michonne Maddock, and Shelby Township Clerk Stan Grott. These are people in positions of electoral power. And they're all Christian, and they all go to church, and they are lying son of a bitches. They are criminals. And it's not just in Michigan. 7 so-called battleground states, including Michigan. In those states, supporters of the orange son of a bitch signed certificates that falsely stated that he won their states, not Biden. They knew it. The fake certificates were ignored in these various states, but the attempt demanded and got an investigation, including by the House committee that investigated the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. And one of the things I heard this morning, in this fog that I go through every morning, that these Christian demons in the U.S. House are thinking about trying to expunge the impeachment record of Donald Trump. Magic! We'll make it go away! Attorney General Nessel said in a statement, quote, "The false electors' actions undermine the public's faith in the integrity of our elections, and we believe also plainly violated the laws by which we administer our elections in Michigan." These 16 Christian devils are set to appear for arraignment at a date provided to each by the court, according to Nessel's office. And when the Associated Press, sent email messages or made phone calls to these devils seeking comment, they were immediately returned. Oh, gee, I wonder why. One of these miserable little bastards charged is a guy named John Haggard of Charlevoix, Michigan. This miserable, and he's probably just absolutely eaten up with dementia. The bastard is 83 years old. He told the Detroit News yesterday that I don't believe I did anything wrong. His direct quote is, "Did I do anything illegal? No." I'm not going after him because of his age. Christ almighty, he's one of my peers. But I'm just saying, did I do anything illegal? You crazy son of a bitch, of course you did, and you knew it the moment you did it. The so-called Republican state senator a guy named Ed McBroom, who chaired a Republican-led Senate panel to investigate Michigan's presidential election, and we found no wrongdoing. And he said he previously spoke with one of the fake electors. McBroom said that it was clear that the effort was organized by people who put themselves in a position of authority and posing themselves as the ones who knew what they were doing. McBroom told the Associated Press, quote, they were wrong and other people followed them when they shouldn't have, end quote. Well, then what does it mean when McBroom, with the Senate panel that he chaired, said they found no wrongdoing? Oh, Jesus Christ. Help me, Rhonda. Now back to Burden. One of the people charged, Kathy Burden, Republican National Committee's chairman of their chapter in Michigan. She and Myra Rodriguez, a Michigan lawyer who was also charged, were both questioned by congressional investigators as part of the U.S. House panel's investigation into the January 6th insurrection. These people are so fucking evil and criminal, and they'll go to church every goddamn Sunday morning, and probably some of them will go Sunday night, and they'll sing their hymns, and they'll praise the baby Jesus, and every one of them is just as corrupt and filthy as you could possibly imagine. And in January of 2022, that was when Attorney General Nessel asked federal prosecutors to open a criminal investigation into these 16 devils. And she said at the time, quote, obviously this is part of a much bigger conspiracy, end quote. Yes, it is. Part of the conspiracy is to completely shred and destroy the Christian religion. Take Jesus Christ, put him up on the cross, and cut him into little pieces. Let the rats eat him. That's what these son of a bitches are doing. Fake electoral college certificates were also submitted declaring Trump the winner in Arizona, here in Georgia, New Mexico, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. That is how widespread this demon, Donald Jesus Trump, has put out his poison and his sickness. And there are investigations underway now in some of those states, but not all of them. In the states that are run completely by Christian devils, there's not going to be any investigation. Are you kidding? Here in Georgia, the prosecutor, Fani Willis, investigating what Trump blatantly attempted to do here after the election. Ms. Willis has agreed to immunity deals with at least 8 fake electors. Well, of course. I'll tell you the truth if you promise you won't put me in jail. You Christian lying filth, you. Thou shalt not lie. And it doesn't say in those 10 commandments, but only if you're given immunity from prosecution. Arizona's Democratic Attorney General is in the early stages of a probe. Nevada's Attorney General has said he won't bring charges. He's a Democrat. Wisconsin has no active investigation. And the Attorney General there has deferred to the U.S. Justice Department. There's no apparent investigation in Pennsylvania. And the former Attorney General there, John Shapiro, who is now the governor, he said he doesn't believe there was evidence the actions of the fake electors met the legal standards for forgery. Okay. Is there nothing else you can do, Governor? Is there no other charge you can bring against these devils? And a group of other allies of this filthy demon, Donald Trump, in Michigan, including the former Christian fascist attorney general candidate, Matthew DePerno. They're facing potential criminal charges related to their attempts to gain access to voting machines after the 2020 election. I wonder what they wanted to do with the voting machines, eh? And according to documents released last year by Attorney General Nessel's office in Michigan, 5 vote tabulators were taken from 2 counties in northern Michigan and another county in western Michigan. These tabulators, the vote counting machines, were subsequently broken into, and what have been described as tests were performed on the equipment. And a grand jury was convened a couple of months ago at the request of a special prosecutor to consider indictments around that issue, according to court records. And a special prosecutor in Michigan investigating that wrote in May in a court document that, quote, a charging decision is ready to be made. I mean, it just goes on and on. It will not stop until this cancer, this sickness, it is somehow excised or exorcised. One of the two. It probably will take both. Country needs an exorcism, doesn't it? Father Damien. Oh, Lord, have mercy. The Jennifer Rubin, opinion writer at the Washington Post, says that what Attorney General Dana Nessel did in filing criminal charges against these Republicans is a stunning development. And again, the charges that Attorney General Nessel came up with include forgery, conspiracy to commit forgery, conspiracy to commit election forgery, and each charge carries a potential penalty of 5 to 14 years in prison. And here in Georgia, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who is, as you know, investigating the Orange Bastards' attempts to force state officials here in Georgia, Republicans, to, you know, find enough votes to flip the state into his column and then enlist a set of paid electors. Well, District Attorney Willis has signaled that she's going to bring charges in August. Now, after a magistrate in Ingham County in Michigan signed off on the charges that Attorney General Nessel brought in that state in Michigan, she released a video explaining her action, and you can probably find it somewhere online. Attorney General Dana Nessel, Nessel. And in the video, well, besides the video, the 16 defendants and their attorneys were then notified, and they were given a week to turn themselves in or face arrest. Don't turn yourselves in. Don't. I just got to see a perp walk of you Christian devils. I've got to. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.